putting all this investment in testing, R&D work so that you can provide your customer with the longest lasting tool in the market.
That was the beauty of testing, get to test the drills at the same time. That's the whole point of testing, right? If you don't break something, were you really testing it?
I think you flew under the radar a little bit today because that was a pretty big drill that you broke, and I didn't hear it.
That didn't happen today.
Oh, okay.
I'll take whatever blame, but
those sort of bangs,
that didn't happen today.
Was it loud when it happened?
It violently separated.
Back in sort of the learning curves when you're sort of being trained, there'd be a little string wrapped around that cutting tool, and you'd have to wear it around your neck for a day, just to
showing them off to everybody.
Look what I did.
Well, yeah, that's just the
Similar
beauty of
thing
testing.
happens with grinding wheels too. If you
I've seen
crash
that.
a machine and damage a wheel, generally you put a rope around it and hang it from your neck, and you get to walk around the shop all day and
The wheel of shame.
The wheel of shame.
The public shame of
And
it.
have your colleagues sort of poke at you a little bit.
Right. Yeah. That was the beauty of testing, get to test the drills at the same time. Forgot how the speeds and feeds were come up with on that, but they did. And then at a certain point, we hear a unfavorable noise and, this is what happened. And we consulted with Jonathan real quick, learned we could have, made it better.
I'll point out that we're paying you to break tools sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Break tool.
If it doesn't break, that's
job.
the whole point of testing, right?
Yeah.
If you don't break something, were you really testing it?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of our former engineers. He claimed that R&D stood for requisition and destroy.
There you
So
go. To my defense.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually what we were testing, though, is basically testing our thread mills, non-EPX, straight off the shelf, and EPX. So we have some EPX examples of varying level of hone.
Yeah.
And so today we were testing the baseline off-the-shelf tool, a coded version of our tool, so that in a later date, I believe next week, we can then test the ANCA EPX and have something to compare it to.
That gives you a good baseline and
Exactly.
supporting data. That'd be exciting to see the outcome of that.
Right. And which hone does the best too. So not just does an EPX hone, what level of hone from the EPX seems to perform the best and in what material. So really robust testing in that regard.
It's a great business in the cutting tool sector because I often sort of put myself in Jonathan's position that you want to come up with a geometry of a tool and with certain coatings and edge preps that make it last forever, but you don't want it to last too long. So,
We'll be out of business.
it's sort of a silly statement,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, the end
understand.
result is that you're putting all this investment in testing, R&D work, so that you can provide your customer with the longest lasting tool in the market, and that's a credit to SCT, and that you're actually willing to invest not only in testing machine but people, and prepared to do that for your customers.
Mm-hmm. Tell us how that works out for ANCA. How I know that you guys spend a significant amount of money on research and development in a different way, and what does that look like?
Similar sort of culture and business to SCT, in that it's a family business and therefore private, and we put a significant amount of revenue, over 10%, back into R&D work, and we have a number of engineers and working on this, and you're looking for that next wow factor.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next plateau? I was saying earlier on when we were walking around the shop that ANCA is known as an innovative company in the industry, and we've got many firsts on our tool grinding machines and many patents as well. And these have all come through our commitment to R&D and commitment to innovations. Some of the things that we've shown as recently as the last IMTS is, with the Micro X machine that has it's our first 6-axis machine getting into the micro sort of size. A lot of the ultra technology actually came from the development of the Micro X. So
And the CPX, right?
and the CPX. So we've been working on the Micro X for a number of years, and within the Micro X is where the nanometer CNC control came from, implemented into the Ultra machines, and so that was technology that quickly flowed. The motor temperature control came from CPX and the GCX, so our skiving cutter machine. And so, again, it proves the investment in R&D of the company. And at IMTS, we released this self-setting pop-up steady. I don't know if you remember where
I did see that, yeah.
Where it'll be released here shortly on the FX. And so regardless of diameter of cutting tool, or diameter of tool that you put into the machine, the steady rest will automatically come to the height.
Oh, wow.
And will actually provide the resistance there.
That's awesome.
And so it gives you that flexibility to go from one diameter to another without having to reset,
set it up at all. It does the
reset
perfect amount of
pop-up.
pressure, but not breaking the tool.
That's right.
That's
and
cool. That's nice.
It's got some it's a patented technology, but it has its own little micro computers inside, and quite a innovative release. And you'll see that as an option available for your FXs before the end of the year.
So it seems like you guys do a lot of like research, right? Like a lot of research in your own company and in other companies, just to seeing what you guys can design, right?
Look, again, it's the beauty of a private company. And look, when you think, you're in Australia, you're sort of deemed as so far away. And the last thing you think of is maybe high precision grinding machines coming from Australia.
Yeah.
And so we rely on employing the best people available. Again, spending on R&D projects. We do work closely with universities as well, but it's more sort of training future ANCA employees that are working with the universities, and just the ongoing development and R&D sort of skunk programs that we have. And outside of our general sort of product line that you have on your floor, we actually have a specials engineering division group that will take a standard ANCA machine and modify it for a special project. So be it maybe a turbine blade, for example, for jet engines that is not your typical round tool. And we'll develop a process for a customer. And we have many in the US that are manufacturing small turbines for commercial jets or for military functions that are made on same machines that you have. But we're adapting fixtures, we're adapting software, we're using 2 or 3 robots in one machine to load a part into a fixture into a machine. And then at the end of the grind, we're using another robot to load the finished part into a inspection machine. All this within a cell of a machine. And this helps funnel future innovations into our standard machines. So these innovations roll out into our standard product line, and it keeps feeding into our standard product line. And that's a significant part of the company's sort of internal culture is looking for what is considered today a special that can flow into making our grinding machines easier and simpler to use.
And I think part of that culture stems from the background of ANCA being first a control company before they were a grinding machine company.
Yeah, so we're 50 plus years old. We're 51 this year, and the 2 owners, Pat Bowl and Pat McCluskey, that started the business started in their house garage. You've seen the video. They had the goal of being the first Australian company to manufacture a CNC control. They worked in the ammunitions factory during the day and in the garage at night with the concept to build a first CNC control. And not unlike the first Apple or Dell you saw, it was this big or whatever. Our first CNC control was like a refrigerator size, and the guys were successful, and they started the business making controls and then selling them to people that brought knee mill machines, like Bridgeport's knee type milling machines into Australia, and adapting them with CNC controls. And at some point, I think it was in '86, they were in the US, and someone mentioned to them, look, you're making the brains of the machine. Why don't you find a unique machine and make the whole thing, not only the CNC control, make the complete unit. And they looked at sort of the machinery industry and why would you get into the commodity type products of milling machines and lathes, and thought that tool and cutter grinders would be the area that they could sort of make an impact to, and took off. Later in '86, we released our first machine, which was a TG4, 4-axis tool and cutter grinder, had a probe on it, menu-driven software, fabricated steel base, very slow CNC control on it in today's that was our entry into CNC tool and cutter grinders.
And that's about the point where your participation in the company picks up, isn't it?
Yeah, look, a few years after, I joined the company in '88 and came to the US in just the end of January in '89. And back then we had a partnership or a marketing agreement with a company out of South Dakota called KO Lee.
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with them. Yep.
They made manual tool and cutter grinders. Well, they had bought sort of 6 to 9 or something TG4s from us to resell into the US market. And they were having some challenges moving them. And so I was to come across to the US and help KO Lee sell them. And I was going to be based in Aberdeen, South Dakota. And I only saw Aberdeen in books and all that. And I only saw it in January, February, and March. And there was a lot of white stuff on the ground. Yeah. So, but I was still looking forward to it. And then sort of about a month or so before I was due to come across ANCA, decided that maybe a good option would be to start our own office direct, and that would be a better means of selling the ANCA machines and helping KO Lee sell their machines. So ANCA US was incorporated February 14th, Valentine's Day, 1989, and we started selling TG4s. First year we sold 9 machines, had a lot of fun, and today it's 54 people, and if we don't sell 9 machines a month, we're
out of a job.
In trouble. right. But no, jokes aside, it's actually fun. But we started with the TG4, and look at it today. I mean,
a whole lineup, bro,
and considered a global leader in CNC tool and cutter grinders, and they're definitely experts in grinding.